Hey, empaths. Today's question: do you minimize, alter, or deny how you truly feel? And does this tend to create feelings of anger or resentment? Kind of deep questions. Are you ready to dig deeper and find out? Grab your journal and journal with me. So, today we are talking about the heart chakra, forgiveness, which is massive, it's huge, right? And transformation. And I really can see how allowing forgiveness in itself is transformational, right? What a pivotal moment that is. So, welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self Care Challenge Day. What day are we on? 18. Again, my name is Robin Knott, and I am your host of Energy Healing TV and podcast on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, and the founder of the EnergyHealingSchool.com. I'm here to teach fellow empathic healers various energy healing methods with a strong focus on self care, self worth, and self love without feelings of blame, shame, or guilt. For me, that's been huge, right? How many of us have been programmed to believe that self care is selfish and then we get guilt trips and all the things, right? So let's debunk that and get started. So, in our journaling process, I have mine in front of me as usual, a little shorter. That's okay. Some days, do you ever find that when you journal, some days it's like you could go pages and pages and pages, and other days it's like kind of brief, but that's okay. So our process, right? Our three-step process is to be aware, assess our energy, and then align with the source of unconditional love. Again, if you got to watch my first spiritual awakening story interview with Iona Mead and Soul Legacy TV, I got to talk about this, right? That was my saving grace, getting into alignment with. And again, it's not, we don't go from zero to perfection overnight kind of thing. This is an ongoing process. We still live as a human being on this earthly plane. We still have human experiences. We still have quote unquote life lessons. We still have hiccups. We still have layers of stuff that we're healing and clearing. So no blame, shame, and guilt in that, right? We just keep doing it. We keep showing up on the daily and we keep doing it. So, delving into a little bit, let's bring this into our awareness. When you ask yourself the question, do you minimize, alter, or deny how you truly feel? And then, if the answer is yes, does this create feelings of resentment or anger, right? Because we are human and we have human emotions, so we're normalizing this, right? Again, no blame, shame, and guilt. It's normalizing to have human emotions. But after a while, it's like pouring the cup until it's empty and trying to pour more. At some point, the cup's like, hello, what about me, right? I need a refill. Fill me back up, and then we'll pour some more, right? I love to pour out. I love to love. I love to help. I love to share. I love to be supportive. However, at some point, right, which should be continuous, which is part of doing this journaling process, we need to refill for ourselves too and take care of us. So instead of, excuse me, what just came to mind was that one extreme to the other, right? So give it all until you're empty, and then you kind of feel like you're drained and overwhelmed or anxious, depressed, and whatever icky feelings we don't like to feel. And we need a refill. And sometimes going through that refill process can be challenging, right? Because maybe people around us don't support it, or because they're used to us giving, so they just expect more giving. And then we beat ourselves up because of our own programs and conditions and whatever beliefs we have about giving and whatever beliefs we have about self care and self worth, right? Whatever beliefs we have about sharing our own thoughts and emotions and feelings and what that's supposed to look like and how we're supposed to manage ourselves. It's all part of managing ourselves, though, isn't it? Taking care of ourselves, refilling our cup. I think sometimes for us it's challenging because there's that hope or desire that other people will offer it in the ways that we do. and they don't. So forgiveness for ourselves to have that expectation, because in all, I don't even want to call it fair. I mean, I say that as a way of just saying to be fair, but have you heard the saying, we teach people how to treat us? And that's a tough one, right? And again, not blame, shame, and guilt, just bringing it into our awareness. But again, we have those patterns. We're human beings, we're habitual creatures, right? We have those patterns and cycles that we create. So as helpers, we help. As empathic healers, excuse me, right? We help. It's what we do. So therefore, it's what people expect. We tend to gravitate towards people who need help, right? Because we're helpers and that's what we've done. So as we gravitate towards people who need help, there's again no blame, shame, and guilt. It's not a fault thing. It's just without boundaries and without taking care of ourselves throughout the process, then we reach those areas of getting drained. And when we're drained and we're like, hello, it's my turn. I need a little bit of help here, and nobody's offering it, right? The anger and resentments can occur. And we tend to project the anger and resentment outward, like kind of pointing our fingers, like, I'm always helping you and I need your help, and you're not helping me right now, right? Have you done this? But sometimes we just have to own our own stuff and just back up a little bit and say, okay, this isn't for you, right? Them to fix. I have to take care of me, whether they like it or not, whether they help me or not, whether they support me or not. I have to take care of me. And part of taking care of me is having boundaries, right? Again, it's not that we try to let me rephrase. Let's break the pattern and the cycle of not having continuous boundaries and not maintaining those boundaries. We're going to break those cycles, put them into place. So one of those boundaries would be self-care, right? What can we do to continuously fill our own cup, so to speak, so that as we're giving, we're not reaching that point of feeling drained, feeling that resentment, and we can keep more of the even flow, inflow and outflow, right? Receiving, giving, receiving, giving, receiving, giving, receiving, giving. Because that feels so much nicer, doesn't it? Instead of waiting until we're like, kind of beat up. So as you're doing your journaling process, again, just allow yourself to write. Don't overthink it. Just let it come up. Allow it to show you, right? Ask yourself these questions. Do I? Maybe I don't even realize it right away. Do I minimize? And it helps me to actually write out the question. So the question I'm sharing with you on each day, I am writing out in my journal. Do I minimize, alter, or deny how I feel? And then when do I do that? Do I only notice when I feel angry? Do I only notice when I'm feeling resentful? I definitely notice it then. When I'm starting to get irritated. It's like, okay, it's time. I need to take a break. I need to just get away. I need to get out of the house. I need to just create some distance and breathe, or do something that I enjoy, or right. Let's do something to take care of me. Doing this process as well, we can recognize it sooner. And again, we can create these rituals. So if we continue on this daily process of self-care, and we continue to journal, we continue to check in with ourselves, right? Then we don't have to allow it to get to that space of irritation, resentment from being drained, right? So assessing where we're at. When I ask myself the question, when I journal through and I create my answers, present, are my answers, is my energy in alignment with the source of unconditional love? Anger is a common, normal human emotion, right? Which is why we're not blame, shaming, and guilting. It's a normal emotion. It's just not one we want to be stuck in. And it's not then in alignment with the source of unconditional love, right? Most of us can say that when we and feel that love for someone, it is not our own. And we say, like, oh, I wish you happiness and I wish you love and I wish you, it's not usually, we don't usually say, I wish you anger and resentment, right? So when you say it that way, it's like, okay, so it's not in alignment with the source of unconditional love. So then again, what is that one step I can take to get into alignment with the source of unconditional love? Forgiving myself, right? Today is heart chakra, love, forgiving ourselves for not having boundaries, forgiving ourselves for getting sucked into everything that we get sucked into, forgiving ourselves for not filling our own cup, forgiving ourselves for teaching people that will help and help and help and help and help and help and not receive or not take care of ourselves in the process, right? As much as we desire to help or feel that we have this need to help, we're not great helpers when we're drained, and we're not great helpers when we're angry, and we're not great helpers when we're feeling resentment, right? So being mindful of that as well. Let me check my journal and see. I don't recall. If you want to journal deeper, because this is what came up on my own, so I'm just going to share it, is where does this come from, right? Where does this program come from? What, and I want to ask it, like, why? Why am I minimizing, altering, or denying how I feel? Why why do you put your own feelings aside? What brings that up? Is there a feeling of unworthiness? And sometimes we're like, no, like I know I'm worthy and I feel connected to the source of unconditional love, and I know that I'm a soul and I know that I have a purpose and I know. So then why? Sometimes for me, and we'll talk about this more on the next video as well when it comes to speaking our truth, right? Sharing it. So it's one thing to deny it to ourselves, and then it's another to speak it. So if I deny myself from feeling, because how many times do we want to avoid what we feel? Like, I don't like this feeling, so I try to avoid it. I distract myself. There are healthy distractions, and then there's unhealthy avoidance. So you have to really determine which is best for you. Is it serving you or not? Is it serving you in a moment? Is it something that you're doing just temporary because you don't want to, get sucked down too deeply in the darkness where you might really allow harm to occur for yourself. But we don't want to continuously avoid our feelings either, right? Because we have to heal it to feel it. So there is some balance flow in that sort of. And again, when I say balance, I mean kind of like this. This is also balance. It doesn't have to be extreme high, extreme low, but I mean balance is not necessarily a perfect, either. There's still ebbs and flows, right, in our energy. So dig a little deeper and see kind of why you find that you deny yourself or for how long, right? Because like I say, temporary healthy distractions are great as long as we're not doing a continuous ongoing avoidance of our feelings. And the reason I say go deeper and ask why is so that you can identify, because we want to continue, right? Layers, bring into our awareness what that block is. Is it unworthiness, insignificance? Is it with everyone or certain people? Is it just with ourselves, right? Do I try to hide and deny these things just to myself? And again, why? I don't want to add more to that. So let me check again my journal and we can wrap this up. I think we are good. So let me know how you found this episode of our journaling process. Check the description. Oh, homework, of course, right? But check the description. So I have the link for the Empathic Healers Masterclass. So come join me on that as well, where we will talk more about protecting our energies, setting those boundaries, right? And releasing, detaching from things that is not ours. Homework, of course, check in with yourself and journal on your awareness, your assessment, do your assessment of your energy and your alignment. So if you're not already in alignment with the source of unconditional love, what is an action step you can take to get closer to that alignment? And again, if you're not already signed up for the masterclass, please do that so you can have your ticket and your reminder email as we get closer to that time. So you know when we'll be on. And then meet me back here tomorrow, of course, for the next video for communication, talking about, again, speaking your truth and the energy in the throat chakra. Also, in the description, you will find a link to my first spiritual awakening story, the video. So I hope you check that out. I really enjoyed that, not gonna lie. So much came through and I wasn't anticipating it. It was kind of a free flow interview. I only have a YouTube link. So yeah, again, I hope you check that out. So I will see you soon. Take good care of you. So much love. Bye, guys.